Hello everyone, today I'm going to be going over a massive Nintendo iceberg made by u/Invincible Elliot. To make this intro brief, the things at the top are things most people know or surface level knowledge, and as we go down, the entries become things less people know. With all this out of the way, let's start with the first layer. Ellisrael 2401. Ellisrael 2401 is what the inscription on the fountain supposedly says. Some people thought it was a date, others thought it was the amount of coins you had to collect in order to unlock Luigi, and some people even thought you had to lap around the fountain 2,401 times. The closest theory was the release date of Paper Mario in North America, but even this was off by a day and would have needed years of foresight. Nintendo was originally a toy company. Nintendo was originally a toy company that made Hanafuda cards, which is essentially a Japanese playing card, but their first success came with the release of the Ultra Hand, which was a toy hand used to grab things. Nintendo made their first video game related product in 1972 with the release of the Magnavox Odyssey, which they released a light gun accessory for. The Grinch Leak. Essentially, the Grinch Leak was a picture that a guy who supposedly worked with a company that worked with Nintendo took of a pre-release Smash Ultimate roster. In this roster, there was Banjo-Kazooie, the Chorus Kids from Rhythm Heaven, Geno, Isaac from Golden Sun, Ken, Shadow, and lastly Mach Rider. This leak got immediately disproven when the Ken trailer released, which featured Incineroar, who wasn't in the leak. This was actually called the Grinch Leak because in the bottom right of the photo there was artwork for what seemed to be the 2018 Grinch movie. Mew under the truck. In Pokemon Red and Blue, there's a strange truck on a ledge that is normally impossible to get to, and there was an urban legend that if you somehow managed to get to it, you could get a Mew. Some keen players did manage to get there through glitches and exploits, but it turned out there was nothing there. In Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, Nintendo put a rare item near the truck, but sadly there's no Mew. And in Pokemon Let's Go, the area is accessible, but nothing's there. Luigi hanging himself. Luigi hung himself is a theory from Luigi's Mansion that basically says Luigi committed self not alive, and the gameplay of the game itself is some form of the afterlife. The basis of this theory was a strange occurrence that could happen in the game where Luigi's shadow seems suspended in the air. Triforce in Ocarina of Time. Because the Triforce didn't appear in Ocarina of Time, there are many hoaxes and rumors about actually obtaining it. Philips CDI. The Philips CDI was a strange console released in the year 1990 that had a handful of Nintendo games released for it, though these aren't really known for being that good. Stuff like Hotel Mario and the CDI Zelda games are often considered some of the worst of their franchises.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy, this peace is what all true warriors strive for.
Nice of the princess to invite us over for a picnic, eh, Luigi? I hope she made lots of spaghetti.
Bowsette. Bowsette was a meme from 2018 that depicted a gender swap more human version of Bowser. This obviously generated a lot of not safe for work artwork as well as some other things like a Mario 64 mod that certainly exists. While researching, I found a contender for the worst sentence of all time, so enjoy this for a few seconds. The Zelda timeline. The Zelda timeline is notorious for being very complicated and lengthy. The first game in the timeline is Skyward Sword, while Breath of the Wild is the most recent, but this is a heavily simplified version. Mother 3 localization. Mother 3 is the third installment in the Mother series, which is better known as Earthbound outside of Japan. Mother 3 has never gotten an official overseas release, even though it's been out since 2006 and wanted extremely by fans. Some people think it's because of heavy themes present in the game, but it's mostly unknown. A strange letter got sent to one of the devs of a fan translation in 2008 that essentially said by releasing this, you're effectively killing any chances of an official translation and possibly the IP as a whole. Lots of people think this was probably from Nintendo themselves, but to me it just seems like a fan who just thought it could do damage to the IP. Missing No. Missing No is a bug in Pokemon Red and Blue that caused an odd glitch Pokemon to spawn. To get this, you had to listen to the Old Man's demonstration in Viridian City, fly to Cinnabar Island, and then surf alongside the East Coast, and due to strange coding, this caused the glitch to appear. Missing No spawned a couple creepypastas, but none are too popular. Shiverburn Galaxy Creatures. The Shiverburn Galaxy Creatures are strange figures that can be seen overlooking the cliffs in the Shiverburn Galaxy of Super Mario Galaxy. In the files, these are called Hell Valley Sky Trees, which has sparked theories that these represent demons, but also theories that these represent Kodama, which are Japanese tree spirits. Personally, I think it's just a strange Easter egg, but they do look somewhat similar to Kodama. Majora's Mask and the 5 Stages of Grief. This is a theory about how Majora's Mask is supposed to represent the 5 stages of grief. Throughout the game, you see how people deal with what they think will be the end of the world, and as a result, you see the 5 stages of grief. Mario punches Yoshi. In Super Mario World, Mario seems to hit Yoshi to make him use his tongue ability. I doubt this is what Nintendo was trying to go for, but it really looks like he's hitting him. Mario 3 is a stage play. This theory is very simple. Mario 3 is a stage play. The basis of this comes from the opening of the game, which shows a curtain rising, and the end of the game, which shows a curtain closing. This was surprisingly confirmed by Miyamoto in 2015. Blowing on the cartridge. Blowing on the cartridge is what NES and N64 owners commonly did to fix issues with their games, like them not starting or after a crash. They did this because they thought dust was causing the issues, but most of the time the action of taking out the cartridge and putting it back in is what actually fixed it. Dead franchises. This entry refers to the plethora of franchises that Nintendo hasn't used in decades. Some popular ones are F-Zero, which hasn't got a release since 2004, Earthbound, which hasn't got a release since 2006, and Punch-Out, which hasn't got a release since 2009. I think some of these could come back in the current video game landscape, but stuff like F-Zero seems doomed at the moment. The Minus World. The Minus World is a glitch level in Super Mario Bros. To access it, you have to do an odd backwards jump in the last pipe in World 1-2 and jump in the first warp pipe before the screen completely pans to the right. When done correctly, the pipe puts you in a strange version of World 7-2 that can't be completed and has a -1 as the world icon. This bug was actually featured in Nintendo Power. Driving into Peach's castle in Mario Kart 64. In Mario Kart 64 on the stage Royal Raceway, you can drive up to a version of Peach's castle that's off the main road. There were myths when the game first released on how to get inside of the castle itself, but these are all just hearsay. This concludes Layer 1. Many of these were things you'd have to live under a rock not to know, so I tried to keep it shorter, but as we go down I'll spend more time on each one. Jumping over the flagpole in Super Mario Bros. In Super Mario Bros. There are two ways of getting past the flagpole. The first method is in World 1-1 where you have to glitch the Koopa underground and jump on it at the end of the stage. The next method is in World 3-3 where you have to angle the balancing platform and jump off it to the right. In both, after you do this you can go infinitely to the right until the time runs out, or just jump on the flagpole from the right and finish the stage. Sonic and Tails in Melee. This is another do X to get Y secret character hoax, but this one is a bit special. As an April Fool's prank, Electronic Gaming Monthly had a bit in their magazine that said, "Play as Sonic or Tails. Sonic Team's 2 stars make cameos as warriors in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Here's how you get them. Achieve a high score of 20 KOs with any one character in Cruel Melee. Sonic and Tails will then both challenge you, yes, at the same time. Beat them and they open as playable characters. Finish class mode with either for a special surprise." Looking back at it, this was obviously fake, but many people in the past were much more gullible when it came to this kind of thing, so it was believed by many. Sans' Nest. Sans' Nest is a theory created or at least popularized by Game Theory after he made a video covering it. This video almost immediately became infamous due to huge logical stretches and things that flat out didn't make sense. U/Noble Chris had a pretty good post in r/character rant that sums up all the mistakes. Toby Fox even made a Twitter post hours after the video went up talking about fan theories. Waluigi in Super Mario 64 DS. This entry is also a secret character hoax, but it has a few layers. In Super Mario 64 DS, there is a room with 5 doors, one for each playable character excluding Yoshi and the minigame room. The theories for Waluigi come with a strange blank door that's inaccessible. Of course there's 100% completion to unlock character theory, but there is also some more interesting ones like a purple rabbit that appeared in beta screenshots that theorists thought you had to somehow collect. The most interesting thing to come out of this was a supposed magazine scan of a Nintendo Power article. The article claimed Waluigi was in the game but very difficult to unlock. It also claimed if you managed to unlock him you would get a secret ending. This is one of the more believable Nintendo hoaxes. So long, Gay Bowser. So long, Gay Bowser is what Mario sounds like he's saying when he throws Bowser in Mario 64. Obviously this isn't what he's officially saying, and this was changed in the 2020 re-release. It's not really clear what he was supposed to be saying in the original. Tetraforce. The Tetraforce is a Legend of Zelda theory about a fourth supposed Triforce piece. This theory originates with the shield in Ocarina of Time, which depicts the complete Triforce alongside a fourth piece at the bottom. As far as Nintendo theories go, this one is pretty complicated. Mario Timeline Theory. The Mario Timeline Theory is a theory about Mario's timeline. While the theory varies between person to person, most people think the timeline starts with the Yoshi games and stuff like Wario Land is near the end. Nintendo almost made the PlayStation. In 1988, Nintendo and Sony partnered to develop an attachment to the SNES that could read CDs. After a couple things fell through, the project was cancelled and Sony would later make the PlayStation with their knowledge from helping Nintendo. Banjo 3E. Banjo 3E would be the next game in the Banjo-Kazooie series. While Gruntilda made a joke about it at the end of Banjo-Tooie, it seems like we probably won't get a third installment. Shut down fan games. Nintendo has never been a fan of fan games and have a reputation of going out of their way to get them taken down. Some big ones were Pokemon Brick Bronze, the Game Jolt games in 2021, and stuff like Mario Creations and Dreams. Smash Bros. Is a child's imagination. This is an older Nintendo theory that tries to explain Smash as a child's dream or imagination. While on its own it makes pretty good sense, the way the characters seem to come to life in the game's cutscenes works as decent proof. Rayman and Super Smash Bros. 4. This is another character hoax that came from this image, that's pretty much it. Shared Universe Theory. The Nintendo Shared Universe Theory proposes that most Nintendo games exist in the same world. The wiki page for this, and what I can only assume is the most popular version of the theory, takes a chronological approach. So basically it says stuff like this game came here, and thousands of years later this game happened. Banned Pokemon episodes. There are quite a few episodes of Pokemon that have been banned for one reason or another. Episode 38 was banned because it had flashes that gave seizures to people with epilepsy. Episode 101 of Ruby and Sapphire was left unaired because the plot involved earthquakes and a massive one hit Japan before it was supposed to air. The people who worked on the show decided it would be insensitive to air it. And Holiday Hijinks, which was a holiday special, that was banned because people said Jinx was a negative stereotype on African Americans. Robin Williams in Breath of the Wild. Robin Williams was an American actor who was a big fan of the Legend of Zelda series, who went to the extent to name his daughter Zelda. And in Breath of the Wild, there's an NPC named Dado who was modeled to look like him. Super Mario Bros. 3 and the Wizard. The Wizard was a 1989 movie about kids in a video game competition. The ending of this movie is essentially just an act for Super Mario Bros. 3, as it wouldn't have released in the States yet. Playable Master Hand in Melee. Due to a glitch in Super Smash Bros. Melee, you can play as the boss Master Hand. Because this is a glitch, the game has been known to have stability issues while performing it, so crashes are common. Other than that though, most of his moves are just map fine and he's pretty OP in some modes. He's also not banned in competitive, which is just hilarious. I am Error. In Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link, there's a man early in the game who says I am Error. This isn't something left unintentionally or a glitch though, this character's name is genuinely just Error. This concludes Layer 2. While the entries here were a bit lesser known, the entries on Layer 3 is where the really unknown stuff starts to pop up. Bindrowned. Bindrowned is an extremely long creepypasta made in 2011 that originated from a 4chan post. The plot is about an extremely haunted Majoras Mask cartridge. While the haunted video game is a common trope nowadays, this creepypasta was a pioneer of it that clearly took a lot of time to write and make the videos for. You are Mr. Gay. In the logo for Super Mario Galaxy, there are 7 letters with a star next to them. U-R-M-R-G-A-N-Y. People who spend way too much time looking at box art noticed this and realized it could mean you are Mr. Gay. While it's funny to think someone at Nintendo intentionally wrote this, it's most likely accidental. Stop and Swap. Stop and Swap was an unused feature in Banjo-Kazooie that was supposed to transfer data to Banjo-Tooie to unlock exclusive content. This was most likely scrapped due to hardware limitations. Brutus. Brutus the Bulldog was a rumor about Animal Crossing for the GameCube. He was said to be a purple bulldog with a black shirt that would move to your village overnight and only stay for a day. In this day, people claimed he would do things like kidnapping villagers, chopping down all the trees, and sending messages to you in binary. Mew 3. Mew 3 is what the next clone of Mew would be if it actually existed. In the Pocket Monsters manga, Red's Clefairy gets Mewtwo DNA and calls itself Mew 3, but I don't think this really counts. The 9th world in Super Mario Bros. 3. In Super Mario Bros. 3 there are 8 normal worlds, but when you use the warp whistle to go to the warp zone, the bottom left of the screen calls this world 9. Beating the Running Man. In The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, there's a character named the Running Man. You can challenge him to a race, but no matter what you do, he'll beat you by a second exactly. There's a pretty widespread rumor that you can actually beat him with some secret method, and doing so will get you some crazy reward. In 2009, a channel named Rusty Sporks uploaded supposed proof of this, but it seems he just used a hex editor to mess with the text. Even if you manage to beat the race in 0 seconds, he still claimed you won, so this is sadly just a myth. Gygus is a fetus. Gygus is a fetus is a theory about Earthbound's final boss, Gygus. Some people see resemblances with his lair in the womb, and some people even think the pattern of the faces is fetus-shaped, which I can almost see. Lavender Town Syndrome. In Pokemon Red and Green, there's a town named Lavender Town, and the theme for the town is supposed to be kinda creepy and high-pitched. Lavender Town Syndrome was supposedly the effect the theme had on younger kids that made them have headaches and commit self-not-alive. Apparently the reason only kids could hear it is because their ears are more sensitive. The legend claims that over 200 kids committed self-not-alive and the game had to be recalled and changed. Mario Galaxy DS. Mario Galaxy DS was a hoax from 2007 focusing on unlockable DS DLC for Super Mario Galaxy. It promised new galaxies, a co-op mode, and a free way to get Wii points. The trailer itself looks extremely believable due to various custom assets and the fact he nailed the Nintendo commercial look. The man who created this has made many Nintendo hoaxes over the years, some of which I'll cover in the layers coming up. Gyroid Face in Animal Crossing. In Animal Crossing, if you reset your GameCube in another player's town, you'll lose all your items and come back with a Gyroid Face. While this sounds like a basic creepypasta, it's actually true and was probably easy enough to happen on accident, scarring some poor 9-year-old forever. Antipiracy Screens. Antipiracy Screens were a hoax turned meme that started in late 2020 with a fake Mario Party DS anti-piracy screen video. These were basically just mock-ups people made of what a game's anti-piracy screen would look like if it actually had one. While some games did have actual anti-piracy measures, most of the real ones were drowned out by the more absurd fake ones. You killed Garrys Raticate. Killing Garrys Raticate is a Pokemon Red and Blue theory about you the player killing your rival's Raticate. In your 5th battle with him, he's in a Pokemon cemetery in Lavender Town, seemingly grieving a Pokemon. Oddly enough, in your prior battle with him, you make his Raticate faint and you never see it again. Ocarina of Time Sky Temple. The Sky Temple of Ocarina of Time was a hoax about a secret location in the game. In typical secret thing in game hoax fashion, the rumored way to get there was extremely lengthy and difficult. Super Mario 128. Super Mario 128 is what seemed like a tech demo that was shown at Space World in the year 2000. After further questions, Nintendo claimed that this was in fact the actual game in development all the way to 2006 where they said it dissolved into aspects of other games, mostly Pikmin. While the tech demo looks similar to Pikmin, the dates don't really line up as Pikmin was released in 2001 and Nintendo still claimed there was development on 128 well past 2001, leading some to believe that it was just scrapped. Mario 2 is a ripoff. In 1986, Nintendo released a sequel to the original Super Mario Bros., which was much more harder and punishing. After people in America playtested the game, they felt as if it was too difficult to be fun, and so the game was never ported. Realizing if this game wasn't going to work out, they had to release something. Nintendo tweaked an older game named Doki Doki Panic and released that overseas as Super Mario Bros. 2. The Japan version of Super Mario Bros. 2 was later released as Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. Peta Games. PETA, also known as People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, have released 5 Nintendo-related game parodies, those being Pokemon Black and Blue and Pokemon Red, White, and Blue, which seem to go against animal fighting, Super Chick Sisters and New Super Chick Sisters, which seem to go against McDonald's and KFC for their mistreatment of animals, as well as just the general mistreatment of animals in the meat industry, and Mario Kills Tanuki, which spreads awareness against wearing fur. Super Chick Sisters seems to just use Mario as a medium to spread awareness on a completely unrelated topic, but the Pokemon games seem to act like Pokemon condones actual animal fighting and Mario games with animal power-ups condone skinning Tanukis alive for fur. Overall, these games are very strange. Legend of Zelda Swastika. In the first Legend of Zelda game, when you map out the Manji dungeon, it looks extremely similar to a swastika. Oddly enough, it actually was meant to look like a swastika, but it was meant to resemble the Buddhist one, not the Nazi one. Majoras Mask Wii U Remake Hoax. In 2013, a trailer for a rumored Majora's Mask remake was released. While it did look extremely good, it sadly turned out to be nothing but a hoax made by the same guy who made the Mario Galaxy DS trailer. Golden Dam Island. In the first mission of GoldenEye 007, there's a small inaccessible island with 2 towers. This island was popularized by the assortment of hoaxes and rumors about actually getting to it. Some suggested that it was accessible in a beta for the game, and others said it was still accessible, you just had to do some sort of secret to get to it. Some people even thought it wasn't normally accessible, but if you use some sort of cheat to get there, something interesting would be there waiting for you. In the end, there was ideas of getting there during development, but nothing got past conceptualization. Rideable Yoshi in Super Mario 64. In Mario 64, when you collect all 100 stars, you can find Yoshi on the roof of Peach's castle. When people first saw this, they thought there had to be some way to ride him, as that's what he had mostly been used for in prior games. Videos of people using cheats and mods to actually ride Yoshi didn't help this rumor. Running Man in Mario Sunshine. In Mario Sunshine, a character named El Pantissimo, who's clearly a human dressed as a Pianta, will challenge you to a race. When you take this character's mask off, he almost looks exactly like the Running Man from Ocarina of Time, just a little bit darker. Mario Sex PSA. In 2007, a video was uploaded that claimed to document a lost Mario sex ed PSA. People on Reddit and other forums say it's fake because of its use of Sonic sound effects and other discrepancies, but I really hope it's real.
Here's my brother Luigi now to tell you a whole heap of a spaghetti pile of information. Hello, Mario.
Mario 3D Land Ghost. In the end of level 4-4, you leave the ghost house and see the flagpole. If you don't jump on it right away and wait a bit, a ghost-like figure will become visible behind the fence, and if you wait a little bit longer, it'll disappear. This concludes part 1 of 2, but I have a few closing words. If this video seems amateurish to you, it's because this is the first I've ever made. I had to do and teach myself everything from editing to recording, and I've been working on this on and off since January. With that being said, please don't feel the need to subscribe unless you really want to see part 2, because I don't plan on revolving this channel on Nintendo stuff or even Iceberg stuff. This was really just me testing the waters of video creation, and I chose to do a Nintendo Iceberg because I had a lot of background info on most of the topics and figured it had a decent chance to get views, but we'll see. If you have any suggestions or have anything I missed or got wrong, comment it below. I can't imagine there's going to be many comments, so I'll probably see it. With that being said, I hope you have a good day, and goodbye.